ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purdue.
Mission Red Planet has kind of become a classic. It takes that Citadels where you're playing a character each round. It has a unique power, and you're hoping to be able to bust everything up, and you'll be drafting these cards. It's a really excellent game. It has the area control in it, where you'll be looking at Mars and trying to get the placement to score the points of what you want to do. And every time you play, you're going to have a little bit different of a strategy. At the same time, you're not only playing the board, you're going to be playing those that are around you. It's a really neat little game of bluffing and trying to outguess people and also score these points. There's always little different things that are going on, and it makes like this complex meta little game that's going on around you. Now, the first edition is the one we looked at today. I would say go ahead and get this one unless the pricing is pretty even, because if this one's cheaper, these components are fine, everything is fine in this book. I don't think that you need to upgrade to the second edition unless you just want to spend the extra money, or the prices are relatively the same. If they're the same, I would say get the second edition. Now, with the first edition, you're going to have a fantastic game. This game goes over well with a lot of people. There are some really tough decisions you're going to make in the game. Sometimes you'll just get hosed because somebody played something and they blew your ship up and there isn't anything you can do about it. I've played a game of this where it's just like the whole game is like everything is going wrong. And that's going to happen sometimes. And sometimes you'll play and things just seem to be going right. And that's okay. The game is simple enough. You're going to be playing a card each turn, deciding on what you want to do. And you can't pick your cards back up until you play the weakest of cards. You've seen that before. And the area control is pretty easy to understand and kind of see what's going on. Now, I'm one of those people that want to like area control more than I do, but this is one of my favorite area control games. So if you find yourself kind of always being let down by area control games, this is one that you might want to check out. This might be one that would fit your niche of what you're looking for, because the card play is so interesting and all the characters have different powers. Now, you don't need to know what all those powers are really to jump into the game. People can just look through their cards and go a little slow at first and kind of read them, or just play a card and have some fun, and then you'll build that experience up as you. Mission Red Planet is definitely a game that you should check out. This game has been a favorite for many gamers, and rightfully so. It gives you a great balance of card play and the more powerful cards, but when you pick up your cards, because people are going to be knowing what you're playing and bluffing, and that area control that's so popular in this game. There are some luck in this game. People can play a card and totally just blow up a ship that you've been trying to power and totally ruin your plans. But is it luck, or did you carefully watch what cards they had to play versus what cards you had to play and the cards that everybody had to play? That's what's kind of going on here. And there's some bluffing going on. Sure, there's luck involved. If somebody just happens to play that 7 and it blows up your plans, it blows up your plans. And look, that luck can carry throughout the game. Theoretically, it would balance out over the entire game, but you know, and I've played this game where it's happened, that hasn't been the case. I've gotten beat up round after round after round, and other times it seems like everything is going my way. Now, this game is a very popular area control game, I feel like, because it has area control in it, but it isn't the mechanism that turns the game over. Instead, it's that card play of when you play the cards and when you can balance it. And you take that risk, we're going to put 4 or 5 out on one spaceship, but you're going later in the turn, so it may be full. You really have to kind of balance out what you think other people are going to play versus what you're going to play. That's a great dynamic and a great self-balancing to the game. Mission Red Planet is one I definitely recommend. Now, today we looked at the first edition. I'm going to recommend the first edition if the price point is okay. The second edition does have some upgraded components, but I don't feel like it's worth the extra money. I feel like what you get in the first edition is fine. Now, if they're the same price, definitely splurge for the second edition. But I think if you can get the first edition at a good price, it's sufficient, and I'm not going to upgrade my copy. So this is one I highly recommend. It's kind of those things that were out of print for a while, and people were really excited about it, and I'm going to tell you this one was worth the wait. Mission Red Planet is an excellent game. Here's Mission Red Planet. This is the first edition. It takes about an hour to play, and it's 3 to 5 players right on the front of the box, which is really nice. I like when they put that information. Now, this is like a Ticket to Ride size box. You can see the steampunk. There's no insert whatsoever in my copy. So I'm going to put this aside, and I'll pull everything out. There are going to be 5 colors in the game. You're going to get a number of these little blue circular wooden pieces. These are really small. Not crazy about them. They've been upgraded in the new edition to little miniatures. And you're going to get a set of 9 little cards with your color. Each of the piles will be identical to each other. you will get a number of these spaceships. There are a ton in the game, and they're really neat. They have good cardboard they're made out of, and you'll get some blank ones that will be used with other tiles later in the game. All of your resources will be little cardboard tokens. You'll get little markings for the things that are made out of tile, and then you'll get the upgrades here. These are all really nice cardboard, very, very colorful. Some of these have been upgraded in the new edition. Here will be the board that players will play on when they're putting their ships out. When they're putting these ships out, and they're putting their tokens on these. This will be played out, and then they will take off. Here is the famous red planet Mars. You'll be utilizing this for area control and to be able to get your resources. All the components in this edition are really good. The second edition has upgraded a lot of things. Second edition is nicer, but if you're just looking for a cheaper version of Mission Red Planet, then definitely get the first edition. Here are the rules. You're going to see the front of the box will be on the front of the rule book. You get a little bit of gibberish here, the contents of the game without pictures. And then you'll get the setup on the other 2 pages and a picture of setup, which is nice. Then you'll learn how to play the game. It goes through really smoothly with the end of the game. So really, this is all of the rules. There are not that many rules in the game. And then I'll tell you how the events, cards will work, and most importantly, how each of the characters work. And this is really what you'll be playing. The characters are the majority of the game, and a few on the back. I wish there was like one sheet they were all, but you'll have the cards in your hand, so it won't be that difficult. The rulebook is actually fairly good. I like this rulebook quite a bit, and you can learn the game in just a few minutes. So this will be the first part of the game each round, and you'll just put some new spaceships out and fill those up. Then each player will take one of their character cards and place it face down, and this will be the card that you'll be playing for the round. And then players, once everybody has their cards face down, they will go number 1. If you played a number 1, then you would activate it, and you would do what it says. And you would go through each of the number until everybody has played a card, and then you're ready to go to the next phase. Let's go over the cards that you'll play. The Recruiter will allow you to place 1 spaceship astronaut out on any of the spaceships and pick up all previously used cards. So he's the way that when you play a card, it'll be discarded until you play the Recruiter. So he's the weakest of the bunch, but he allows you to go first and pick up the remaining cards. Then you have the Explorer. If you look down here, place 1 astronaut on a spaceship and move up to 3 astronauts of your color on Mars. So once again, you get to put an astronaut anywhere you want. And then on the Mars board, you can move up to 3. And I'll show you what the Mars board looks like after we get through this phase. Number 3 is the Scientist. You can place a total of 2 astronauts on 1 or 2 spaceships and either pick up an event card or look at a discovery card already in play. So I can put 2 of these astronauts out on 1 spot or 2, and then I'll be able to pick up an event card or look at a discovery card. Number 4 is the Secret Agent. Place 2 astronauts on 2 different spaceships and force the launch of 1 incomplete spaceship. So place 2 astronauts on 2 different spaceships. So maybe I'd want to put 2 here on Helios and maybe 2 here on Sinus Sabius. Now if you look on the spaceships, each one has a number. So Utopia has a 3, this has a 2. So as soon as it has 2, it would blast off. Helios has 3, it would blast off. And obviously it wouldn't be just blue putting things out. But Utopia isn't ready yet. There's only 1. But the Secret Agent allows me to blast it off early. And once it's blasted off, normally people can't put additional astronauts on it. Number 5 is the Saboteur. You place 1 astronaut on 1 spaceship and destroy 1 spaceship still on the ground. All astronauts on board are removed from play. So maybe I want to put this on Sinus Sabular, and let's say, maybe blow this one up if it was people of a different color, and they would come out of the game. They'd be less 2, and this guy would never score for this spaceship. Number 6 is Femme Fatale. So what you're going to have here is place 1 astronaut on a spaceship and replace another player's astronaut on a spaceship in the air or on the ground or a zone of Mars with another one of your astronauts. So you can place 1 normally, and then if I say this wasn't mine, I could go ahead and take that off and replace it even though it's already spun off. Number 7 is the Travel Agent. Place 3 astronauts on the same spaceship. If there's not a single spaceship with at least 3 open spots in your turn, you must skip it. So that's a very strategic one to play because you got to have, right now with just the 4 and the 2, there would be nowhere to play it. If this one had just 1 on it, then I'd be able to put 3 out on it, and then it would blast off. So it goes late in the round, so you want to be sure that you're going to have the opportunity to play that. This one is one that you might get your turn skipped quite a bit. Soldier number 8, you place 2 astronauts on the same spaceship If it's possible, then you can outplace any and destroy one astronaut on one of the outside zones of Mars. So he'll get rid of people out on Mars because he's a soldier going off. Number 9 is the pilot. Place a total of 2 astronauts on 1 or 2 spaceships and change the destination of one spaceship, maybe airborne on the ground. So maybe I get to put 2 out, and then I can take one of the tiles, and maybe I'd want to change the location. So now it was going to Sinus Sabius. Now it's going to go to Mir Tiraham, and then it would blast off because it hit its maximum. If something didn't take off, it would just stay here for the next round. Otherwise, these ships have all blasted off, and I'm going to show you the next board to show you what happened. So here is Mars. So let's say Helios was full, and they had 3 astronauts on it. So when this blasts off, at this section of the game, you would find on the map, which is here, and you would put your 3 astronauts on that spot, and now you have a little bit of area control there, and you do that for each spaceship that took off. Now I want to pause and talk about these event cards really quickly. At the beginning of the game, you're going to draw 3 of these for each player, and they each will do something different. So let me take a look at this Discovery one. Once again, the font is really small. At the end of the game, all players with at least 1 astronaut in this zone receive 6 bonus points. You can play that down using one of your character cards. At the end of the game, receive 8 bonus points if you have at least 1 astronaut in each of the indicated zones. So you want to look at these zones and you get a victory point if you have at least an astronaut in each one. So it's just a different way to score points. You can have quite a few of those. Add only 2 score tokens in this zone. At the end of the game, each player with astronauts in the zone scores the purple resources. So each one of these is going to do something a little bit different, and you're going to have 3 of these when the game starts. You're going to have opportunity to get more and more of these as it goes on, and these are the event cards. Now going back to our example here of when Helios had the 3 astronauts put on it, then a random resource token will be placed on it, and you'll know what you'll be scoring there at the end of the 5th round and at the end of the 8th round. At the end of the 5th round, whoever has the most people in each one of these areas will receive a resource token that is shown here. At the end of the 8th round, you will score this twice. They will receive 2 tokens for that spot. And the game ends after the 10th round. Now, as Mars begins to fill up, there will be character cards that you'll be playing that will allow these to move around. Some of your event cards may allow you to do special things, but this board will be filling up. People will be coming off. You might be sent up here. So there's quite a few things that you can do, and you'll want to strategically, based on possibly your event cards or the resource tokens, get area control of certain parts of Mars. So everybody will not be going after the same spot. Who should buy this game? I think anybody who likes area control, but you want a little more to the game. If you like that Citadels, Hysterio, Grim Forest, kind of where you're playing the card, but you have to kind of guess what other people are going to be playing and try to play off of them. So it's not always just playing the card that's most optimal for you, but you have to kind of read what everybody else is doing. If you have people who like poker and are looking at maybe jumping into the Euro game or designer game format, this might be one to go because you're really going to be reading everybody. So this meta game that's going on with the area control. Now, the game is simple for most gamers. Most gamers are going to be able to jump in this and not have a problem. But if you're a non-gamer, there's a little bit here to balance that maybe you're not used to. So the first time I would play with a non-gamer, I'd be like, just read the cards and play something and kind of get a flow for how it works. I wouldn't have them download all the cards into their head before they play. Not for non-gamers. For us gamers, we'll jump right in and play. This is one I highly, highly recommend. I like this one quite a bit. It's an absolute keeper, and I love Mission Red Planet. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing games.